Hi guys, welcome back to Spice Channel TV. President Bola Tinubu, they say, is the builder of Lagos, but has destroyed Nigeria. And according to many, with the sparks of revolution looming, this revolution will start from the north. Yes, Mr. Dele Farotimi, the human rights lawyer, has said that the current Nigerian system is not sustainable and that the revolution and problem that would destroy President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government will come from the northern region of the country. In an interview making rounds on social media, Mr. Dele had said the revolution against the sufferings created by President Bola Tinubu's government will not start in eastern Nigeria because, according to him, an average Igbo person has learned not to depend on the government. So it's quite easier for them to survive on their own as they tend to be independent. And long ago, he had predicted Nigeria's revolution will start from the northern region of this country because Nigeria for long doesn't have a common purpose to fight evil because of the north. And now that the person in power is not a northerner, well, it seems that the northern elite has no interest in bearing this suffering, as it is not one of their own who is in power. And at this moment, with everything they've tolerated in all the years of Muhammad Buhari, is no longer tolerable because for long their brothers have been in power and then they tend to keep and maintain their silence. But now that their person is no longer in power, they will now see what it feels like. And if this mess continues, if this Tinubu's administration continues to heap sufferings on Nigerians, then a revolution will start, and it will start from the north. It won't start from the east because the east are quite, they are dependent. They know how to fend for themselves. You rarely find an Igbo man applying to a civil service or looking for a salary jobs. The average Igbo man goes to the market and learn a trade, and they've learned to do without the government. They've learned to discount the government. They've learned to be independent, which means that the average Igbo man is better equipped than any other Nigerian to cope with our current circumstances where the government has completely become useless. And an Igbo man was already prepared for the uselessness of this government. Now that he is prepared for it, everybody wants to stigmatize an Igbo man. I mean, you cannot blame an Igbo man for turning around and saying it is none of my business. Enjoy your government, because they have seen ahead. They know what's coming, because they were not even enjoying anything from the government in the first place. So why would you say the Igbo people are not concerned about the activities or what's going on in the country? Well, they are dependent, and an average Igbo man on the streets grew up believing that he has no portion in Nigeria, which was what fed the Biafran spirit and demanded for Biafra even 50 years after the Civil War. So the average Igbo man in the Igbo land in Alaba Market, in Ladepo, have always lived with that mentality of being victims of the systems. They are always living with the mentality of marginalization, that they are being cut off from this government. So, well, this is coming from Mr. Dele, who has claimed that if anything were to happen tomorrow, if there would be a revolution, it will start from the north. Because the North are fully dependent on the system of government. They are fully dependent on the government, hoping the government would do something for them. Meanwhile, the average Igbos, the Southeasterners, they tend to fend for themselves, as they always have this feeling that they've been left behind for long. So my country people, what are your thoughts on this? Because a lot of people have been giving comments on the Igbos, most especially with the current economic situation in the country. And when you see these comments, they tend to react that, they are showing Peter Obi Pepe, because back then during the 2023 presidential election, other people were accusing the Igbos, the Southeasterners, that Peter Obi would never make it to presidency. Peter Obi would never be the president because he has an IPOB agenda, so on and so forth, that they want to teach Peter Obi a lesson. And now that it has dawned on everybody that with the current suffering in the country, I mean, Peter Obi is not even suffering, although Obi has been clamoring for, the betterment and the welfare of all Nigerians. Now, the Igbos tend to remind other, ethnic extractions that they once said Peter Obi will suffer. Now, who is suffering? Is it not everybody? Everybody is currently suffering. The Igbos, the Hausas, the Yorubas, everybody is suffering. So long as you are in Nigeria, everybody is feeling the brunt of this Tinubu's administration. So back then, they thought that it was only the Igbos that would suffer and not other people will suffer because they chose to vote for a particular candidate. And they felt that when that time comes, their candidate will shield them from the hunger that is facing us in this country. So let's go back to what Dele has said. He also noted that the North will start the revolution because, I mean, it is not their brother in power. It is not their person in power. Back then, during the Buhari administration, when we saw the NSAS protests, they never gave a hoot. They never came out to protest against it because their brother was in power, Muhammad Buhari. And now that the things are turning upside down in this country under this Tinubu's administration, most of them are grumbling because it is not their brother that is in power. So my country people, you get as this matter just be. Yes, we know that Muhammad Buhari started this line of suffering and hunger. And Tinubu as well also continued from where Buhari stopped. But let's not forget the person that put us in this present condition in the first place. So guys, let's take reactions from Nigerians. Tinubu will leave office someday. The next president will do exceedingly better. His clowns say he will build Nigeria, that he laid the framework. That's the illusion and deceit. And that was how they said he built Lagos. Una don't forget say him build Lagos, he build Onitsha. Tinubu build Okigwe, he build Abuja, he build Umaya. He also said he will help P2B to build Anambra. So by the time Onga go wire you finish, he will finish building the zoo like that you like. Okay. We the Southerners will resist him. Tinubu must complete his 8 years. Well, how on earth can he be so insensitive to the sufferings and the hardship facing Nigerians? APC is so callous and extremely irresponsible. Okay, guys, these are reactions from Nigerians. So, my country people, what are your thoughts on this? I'm dropping here, guys. Kindly share your thoughts concerning this in the comment section. Thank you.